Our celebration of women continue on this Saturday morning. It's amazing how creative, artistic, and really flamboyant we can be if we just find our niche within ourselves. And women in the arts have always been able to be completely expressive. Of course, some of us call them eccentric, others a little weird, but the fact is that we're able to find our way through our art, in fact, through different genres. I'm about to introduce you to a singer, a dancer, an actress, a businesswoman, a choreographer, amongst other things. Khabonina Qubeka, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Such an honor to be here.
Thank you for coming in this morning. We've all had the opportunity to watch you on television as an actress, which was wonderful. But which art form found you first?
I love the way you say that, because people always go, how did you get into the industry, or what happened? And I always believe that I've always been in love with being an artist. And I believe that I'm a holistic artist.
Yeah.
And you know, I think maybe the dancing is the bug that hit me first, because it was the most expressive thing when I was 5 years old. Because mom would always see me dancing and moving, and she thought, hey, let's take her to a dancing school. So, and I think dance is always the basis of doing a lot of different things, because dance inspires a lot of things. It inspires you to become a character, hence the acting. It inspires you to want to command the stage, hence the singing, and hence the, you know, being a motivational speaker, and just being a fan of being a woman and being an expressive woman. Because as an artist, there's always so many things that they look at as a woman.
Yeah.
Like, you know, don't do this or you can't do that. You know what I mean? So being able to give yourself a chance
Yes.
to say, this is who I am. And I love being an artist, because this is the difference that I am making
Yes.
to women, for women, as an artist.
Did you find that that first form of expression
Yes.
actually helped you to become a full-on teenager, for example, and
Yes.
just, you know, others have to act out in other ways, and you
Yes.
had this really a positive form.
You know what? This is actually an aha moment, actually, because someone said to me, "How come you don't drink, you don't smoke, you're not promiscuous, and all those things?" And I thought to myself, "No, but it's a good point that you're making, Jerry, because I never lashed out in that form. I never did those things, and I think dancing for me was that. It was my drug. It was my high. So I think that was actually it. And I think, you know, with me teaching dance and teaching a lot of women and lots of children dance, it's almost giving them an option that instead of doing the drugs, instead of going for the nyaope,
Yes.
try something different, try a form of expression, because even visual arts
Yes.
is a form of escape. So I love the way you put it, that it's a form of a lashing out.
But now I have to ask you, so, you know, when you're in primary school and high school,
Yes.
and schools and
Yes.
parents have certain expectations,
Yes.
and how are you academically? Because,
Yeah, good question.
Because it's one thing to dance, and mom encourages the dance,
That's
but then
true.
she's going, but you have to finish school, and I want you to do well. You can't be dancing all the time.
That is true. I wouldn't say straight A student. Would not say that.
Okay.
But I think it's the art in me. I was interested in different parts of the academic world. Like
Yes.
I loved biology, which was health back in the day.
Yes.
And it was also because it was dealing with the anatomy and physiology of the body.
Oh,
So I would
sure.
ace that.
Sure.
And I was a fan of geography, because I'm a traveler, and I knew that I wanted to travel. So that, you know, so I think I was a spoiled kid, because I felt, well, I can choose. I can be great at that. I don't have to be great at algebra, but I can be great at ABCDE.
Sure.
So I was that type of kid. But I'm blessed because my mother is an artist. So
Right.
she always motivated and said, no, you can do it, as long as you make sure that you balance yourself out, as long as you know how to become a business. Don't just become an artist and just sit there
Right.
and wait for gigs and wait for work.
Right.
Make things happen for yourself.
So what kind of artist is your mother?
She's an opera singer, actually. She does voice training. She's a voice coach, and she's traveled the world herself. She's studied
Well, you were
music.
destined. I mean,
no,
what
she's really passionate about
What
it.
else were you going to become but
I
an
guess that's a
artist?
good question. But Jerry, what made me fall for her as an artist as well was because she would go to prisons and actually like help the prisoners sort of rehabilitate themselves through art. So if maybe you are in for robbing the bank or whatever, she'd always say, you know, write a song about it.
Oh, lovely.
But you know, so she uses the art as a form of rehabilitation, and
Right.
that's what I loved about that, because I realized that it's not just about being an artist
No.
and being on stage,
No.
but there's so much more to it, which keeps you in it. I've got a lot of friends who have left the art industry because, oh, there's no money or there's no
That's
work,
true.
and they've gotten into other worlds.
What's interesting is each and every one of us, artist or not, actually has a bigger purpose and therefore a bigger potential.
Yes.
So Khabonina, your
Yes.
mother found it, and you seem to have found it as
Yeah.
well. But now I really want to know the full story. So you finish high school.
Yes.
and now you have to go into the big wide world.
Yes.
Tell me.
So I went and I thought, you know what, I need to study what I'm passionate about. So there was a course that was done moving into dance. It was a whole study about being an artist. You did arts management. We did the history of dancing, because you can't just be a dancer not knowing what the history of dancing, the anthropology of a dancer, the bushman, you know, what is a shaman, and when the bushmen are moving and dancing, they're going to a trance. Why do they go into a trance? How do they get into that trance? And we did business management, how to market yourself as an artist, so that I can say to you, Jerry, you're launching your new company. I've got dancers, and you know, we can actually express what your company is about, the movement and stuff. So the course helped me, and I graduated with flying colors in that course. And then from then, I started traveling the world. That's when I started seeing other dancers and other artists doing different things. And that's where I think I was able to suck in and become the artist that I am.
Now, your genre of dance is called what?
It's called a fusion, because I used to say Afro-fusion, but I feel like that sort of limited me in some form of way. So now I call it a fusion, because I do hip-hop, I do African, I do contemporary, I do jazz, because I teach those forms of dancing, because I've got a dance business, I've got a dance school that I've been running for 8 years now, where it's open classes for mothers, for kids, for everybody, just to come and express themselves through dance. But then I had to, Jerry, you know, with growth, I had to think to myself, this thing about dancing is it's also a way of keeping fit, especially for women.
Sure.
What is it that we can do through dance to keep fit? So then I do dance fitness sessions, which are brilliant and blowing women's minds away. And then I had the DVD. So I've got a DVD that comes out at the end of the month.
Wow.
Which is a fitness DVD, how you can get fit using dance in your house, in your bedroom, in your kitchen, and all those. It's insane, but you're gonna love it. It's crazy.
Oh, that is fantastic. I'm just wondering, where do you find the time? Because at some point then, in the middle of all of this, you're bitten by the acting bug.
Yes. In love.
Tell me.
In love with it. Can I tell you how God works? He is insane. God, I feel like God has got a remote control in his hand. And I feel like he always says, okay, now you're done with that, it's time for this and it's time for that. Because I swear, he is the one that actually shapes my timetable, and he makes things happen according to his time. Because I did the acting, I just finished doing The Wild a year ago, and then from there, then I went into the dance fitness and the DVD, and I started growing in that field.
Now let me think about this. We've discussed dance. I guess acting came naturally because of the sense of expression.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So then you take on acting. But of course you have that gene, that genetic for singing.
For being, you know what, for me, it's not even just about singing, it's about being a performer.
Okay.
I love being on stage, and I love putting on a show. So for me, that's what that bug was about. It was about commanding the stage and expressing myself through song. Because there's a lot of things that I feel I want to discuss as a woman. There are things that I feel I want to say. But some things you can't just say them, because they'll be taken in the wrong way.
Right.
But if you say them
music
through
allows
song,
you that. So help me understand, when you were little growing up with an opera singing mother, did you know that you had a good voice or a great voice? Did she know, and did you know?
Oh, you're insane with questions. I love it. I think it was, you know, maybe I matured at a young age, but I knew that I wanted to perform more than anything. You know, I've got a very husky, very deep, very sensual voice, even in my songs.
Yes.
So that's what I use, and I feel that because of the voice that I have, it shapes my music into a certain direction. So my music is very sensual. It's about being a woman. It's about saying, yes, I've got a buttocks. Yes, I've got thighs. So what? Because we never say this. Guys say to us, damn, you got butt. You know, guys say that. But as women, we never get to say this ourselves.
But remember, we started saying it with Maya Angelou, remember?
Quite right.
She wrote about our hips and our
there
thighs, and it helped us to begin to express ourselves.
But I just feel like it's not, you know, maybe with Maya Angelou, but I feel like it's not enough.
No.
That more could be done.
I agree.
But if you do it in a commercial,
celebration of the feminine self. So you've worked with some truly amazing artists, some artists who are synonymous with actually both singing and dancing in South Africa, because Lebo Mathosa was a fabulous performer.
Wow. For me, my love for Lebo Mathosa, you know, like I didn't care about anything else. I actually didn't even see anything else besides us being on stage. That moment on stage where, I remember we had a show in Durban where it was packed. We came back from that Durban show, we tired, and then we had to go to Orange Farm and do a show. And there were like a few people, like 15 people, and Lebo would say, guys, we're going to give them a show.
Yes.
And I love that about
Yes.
her. Not many artists have got that
That's
thing
right.
of we giving a show.
Yes.
And what I loved about her also, Sherry, she was not about the beauty. She was not about, you know, because a lot of artists right now are so focused on
The look.
Am I perfect? Yeah, but
The
she
image.
that's-
Well,
but
actually, Lebu, and let me just remind viewers, Lebu Mastosa was the lead singer for Boom Shaka, which
Yeah.
started in the 80s. She started the group together with a team of others, became very, very famous, but also then continued with a solo career,
That's
which
it.
took off exceptionally. And one of the amazing things is she had a fantastic singing voice. And she
Yes.
also was a fantastic dancer.
Amazing
and,
dancer.
And the one thing that South Africa must know about Lebu is, again, it didn't matter who she was performing to. She was humble.
Yes.
She was a consummate professional.
Jerry. And can I tell you, she was not even putting on, because you know a lot of artists now, they put on a humble act.
Yes.
They think that people can see that you're putting on an act because you want sales, you're putting on an act because you want A, B, C, D, E. She was just genuinely that
She
person.
was.
And that's what I
a
loved about her.
fantastic songwriter.
Amazing songwriter. And also what I like about her, she also allowed people to write for her. She would allow people in her space as an artist. Even when we did dance rehearsals, she would say, oh, Khabonina, I love that move. Can you show it to me? You know, so even if she was not a trained dancer, but she would always want to learn more.
She was a wonderful.
I
She
love
was
that.
a. She had that natural ability.
But for
to
me,
move.
that's a genuine artist, Jerry. An artist is not egocentric. You know, because I think that's where the confusion is. An artist is someone that is humble enough to open themselves up to learning. You know what I mean? Like, I'm open enough to learning. Someone says to me, you could have played that scene differently. I'll say, okay, how do you think I would have played it? And you need to listen to that and see if you can apply that. If it's applicable, then you apply
Have
it.
you found in your career and let me ask, that the more humble you are in the South African arts, the further you're allowed to go?
Please touch my hand. Yes, actually. But I think it's about knowing what humility is. I think it's about understanding what that is. Because hence I say to you, there's a humble act that people put up. And people are not stupid. People can tell that you genuinely humbly. And I'm not saying be humble and be an idiot and don't make money.
You
I'm
don't
not
have to.
saying
It's
that.
humility
But I mean,
is not groveling.
Thank you.
And it's not weakness.
That's what. And my fear is that the young kids that are coming up now, they don't see that humility is what
Is key to
it's-
success.
and not just for an artist, just for you as a person.
Yes.
Because you are here because of other people.
Yes.
People love. That's why whenever journalists go, we want to see your house and your car, and I'm like, but I don't think that's what people like about me. People like my work. People are interested in what is she doing now? What is she doing next? People are going, oh, there's a TVT coming out. We want to support that. We want to see that. And that's what it's about. And people, and someone said to me, how do you remain? There's a word. How do you remain relevant? And I don't think one puts on I want to remain relevant. You just genuinely live your life and you do what you do. And people are attracted to what you do. Either they're attracted to it or they're not.
Khabonina, the response to that is, I remain relevant by continuing to evolve in my art.
That's beautiful.
Just the next time they ask.
Next time they say that, okay. Amen. No, you're right though.
That is,
Yeah.
because let me just say, because that is it. Considering the amount of artists and the range of artists
Yeah.
you've worked with, you then went from working with, let's say, the Lebu Matosas, but then you went on to work with the Tembi Theatres, which is more recent, and then others more recent, and that is how you remain relevant, because dance evolves all the time. South African dance, jeez. Just when you think you figured out a move in the South African dance genre,
for me-
you blink your eyes and there's another move.
For me, it was the dance show where I was judge. I judged this dance show for 2 years in a row now.
What was it?
It was Step Up or Step Out.
Yes.
And there was also another dance show called Dance Your Butt Off.
Yes.
But for me, sitting there as a judge, there was a point when I felt, my goodness, I'm not worthy to judge such because of the talent that I have seen in this country. And for me, that's what helped me evolve. That's what helped me evolve even more, was seeing the passion that still exists, the passion that young people still have, but through that humility, through that being humble enough to listen to what a judge says. So I'm sitting there as a judge. I'm not judging your craft, but I'm saying to you, you know, it could actually be better if you look up more. and if you find a way to entertain your crowd while you dance, but a lot of the
Right.
times people dance for themselves, which is not bad. But sometimes when you've got an audience, you need to know that this is a commercial type of, it's a television show.
Right.
I need to engage with the audience that's watching live,
Because
and
there's
then
a
an audience
difference
at home.
Because there's a difference between being a dancer and
Yes.
being a performer.
That's true.
Khabonina Qubeka in the studio with us, a dancer, a consummate performer, an actress, a singer, a businesswoman, just expressing herself in the most amazing way. The fact is that a lot of artists in South Africa, I have to say this, have had to find other means in which to support themselves because the arts in South Africa is not greatly supported. So the evolution of women in art is fundamental to their growth, but also to them expressing themselves and being able to share their art with others.